Okay, welcome back to Physical Science here on this wonderful day. Now this looks like quite the setup. Trust me. There's a lot going on here, so please follow along. Please rewatch if you need to. Basically, I am trying to show the difference between different lengths of wire and different sizes or thicknesses of wire that go along with our straw lab when you were doing this with straws, different lengths and thicknesses of straws. Everything should match up. Basic setup here, and I say basic because there's a lot of wires going on. But what's happening at the end of the day is I have a 9-volt battery. You should be familiar with those. These are the big rectangle ones that you put in smoke detectors. Hooked up to a small light bulb with what's called an amp meter running in the middle of it. An amp meter measures the amperage or current of the circuit. So we can actually measure how much current is flowing through this given circuit. And the only thing that we're going to change, we're going to keep everything constant. All the wires are going to stay constant, other than what this one wire is connected to. What's in the middle of this connection right here. Oops, sorry. I accidentally disconnected it. So right now my light bulb is hooked directly up to my amp meter. We're going to change what's in the middle of these two connections. We're going to lengthen or shorten these connections and put different types of wire in. Okay. So if this is our baseline, if this is our constant setup, then we need to know what our baseline is. Our baseline is 0.3 amps. So I know that's really hard to read on the camera. 0.3 amps, that's our baseline. Now, just like in the lab before, we're going to start with a short, thick wire. We're calling 100 meters short for today, 100 feet, I should say, short. But this wire is very, very, very thick. And when we do that, at 100 meters of very, very thick wire, the amperage really doesn't change. The electricity is able to flow through the very thick wire very easily. It's still at 0.3, maybe went down like 0.0 something if you were really accurate with it. I don't trust this meter enough to say that that's accurate enough to measure small differences like that. So that's 100 meters of very thick wire. Now let's see about lengthening this out. We're going to try to lengthen this, make it a little bit longer in a couple different ways here. First off, so we're going to stick with a thicker wire. It's not quite the exact same thickness, but it's a thicker wire, this time going up to 500 feet. So now we have 500 feet of relatively thick wire, especially for such a small circuit. And we finally went down maybe to a point that we can measure. We're down to 0.28. The thing finally moved down a little bit. We're going through just like in the straw lab, that really long, thick straw. Eventually, we start to notice some differences. And let's bump it up even one more time. So this last time I have 2 spools in a row. So I have 1,000 feet of thicker wire in the middle of that circuit. And I am down to 0.26. So still not a whole lot of difference, but you can see that that's going down, just like it did in the straw lab. Let's switch over while we still got time. So now I'm going to switch over to some thinner wire. Got what it's pretty thin wire here. 100 feet of pretty thin wire. See if that makes a difference, appreciable difference. Remember, our baseline is 0.3. That looks like 0.29. So yes, there was a little bit of a difference. And then we'll go down to 100 feet of really thin wire. So remembering to our straw stirrers, I have 100 feet of super thin wire off to the side here. You can see some of it when it's getting super thin. It's kind of tough to gauge here. So 100 feet of super thin wire is 0.26 as well. The same reading as 1,000 feet of the thick wire. So imagine if we did 1,000 feet of the thin wire. So that's a little demonstration. It goes right along with the straws. It matches directly up with the straws. The flow of electrons, we think of wires as being conductive, and they are, but they still have some resistance, and it depends on their length and their thickness. Those are the 2 factors in our wires. Thanks for watching. Hope this helps. Don't forget to rewatch if you need to.